Good evening. Happy holidays. This is Maestro Cortella with a Dawn of War 2 Retribution Elite Mod cast. In today's cast we have Texanius the Legend as the Orc Mekboy, a little orc with a screw in his mouth, teleports, does range damage, and has a lot of shenanigans up his sleeve. Can do some crazy stuff that most people don't even know even exists. On the other side we have Toilailee, the famous Imperial Guard player, except today he is actually playing as the Chaos Lord. Playing as Chaos. This is actually a slightly old match now from a tournament that I believe was run by DJ Rafa, and this is a tournament match where Toilailee is not even playing his main characters or his main commanders, or even his main race for that matter. In fact, in the first match of this set, he played the Tech Marine, and in this match he is playing the Chaos Lord. Both players have captured their closest resource points. Tech's getting his natural victory point. He also got the contested victory point using the teleport on his Mekboy to move up closer and be pretty aggressive with his capping. Mekboy over here, he just teleported from the middle to this side, and now with the help of the Shooter Boys and the lag of my computer, he's taking out heretic models. He's taking out heretic models. And the heretics, unfortunately, they are bleeding a lot of models, and they cannot stay in a fight against two Shooter Boy squads and the Mekboy. On the other side of things, we do have the Chaos Space Marines right now in some yellow cover behind this big-ass plant, trying to shoot up that power node. Now in green cover behind this little wall, a chest-high wall. Mekboy kind of running around. I think this power node will go down, especially now that the heretics are meleeing it. So from these players, it looks like Toilailee has gone for... he has a starting heretic squad, a Chaos Space Marine squad, and another Chaos Heretic squad, as well as a Havoc squad. Tex has gone for a fairly similar build. Very typical start with two Shooter Boys, and then he also got a Looter Boy. Looter Boys are very good in the Elite mod now. They actually do a lot of damage. They're actually probably as good, maybe even better than Shuriken Cannons now, because they do a lot of damage. And this Mekboy is surrounded by heretics, although he's actually choosing to shoot them even though he's in melee. I don't know why that happens exactly. He's surrounded by chaos right now. Maybe gonna jump in the building. These heretics just idling around while the rest of these Chaos Space Marines try to shoot at the building. Interesting thing about garrisoning in Dawn of War 2 is that it's pretty much the best place you can be. I mean, it's basically you can't really do considerable damage to a unit that's inside a garrison if you don't have an anti-garrison weapon. And I think that contrasts a little bit with Company of Heroes, where you can still kind of shoot at a unit that's in a garrison even if you don't have a dedicated anti-garrison weapon. Well, it's not really a dedicated anti-garrison weapon, but a weapon that actually functions as anti-garrison. Looter Boy squad right here getting hit over these trees by grenade launchers, by grenades. Obviously the heretics aren't throwing the grenade launchers. On the other side of things, Tex has decapped Toilailee's natural victory point, and now Toilailee is using his Chaos Lord and his Havoc squad. Well, he's using the Chaos Lord to capture, and he's using the Havoc squad to cover. Mekboy does not have any upgrades, neither does the Chaos Lord. Chaos Lord could definitely benefit from getting the Combi Flamer, would help to bleed these Shooter Boy models, as well as the Slugger Boy models, as well as even the Looter Boy models. And it would actually turn him, a melee hero, into the best ranged hero in the game. So this second Chaos Heretic squad did upgrade to grenade launchers. I think in this matchup, it can be very good to have both a grenade launcher Heretic squad and a melee Heretic squad. Melee Heretics basically to be a counter for those Slugger Boys, and then the grenade launchers can do a lot of good damage to the Shooter Boy squads. Shooter Boys focusing down that Chaos Lord. Chaos Lord running away turns to engage, but then decides to retreat. Chaos Lord probably would have gotten focused down before getting to the Shooter Boys. Electric armor now from the Mekboy. Area of effect damage. The damage type has been changed to power melee in the Elite mod to make it more useful against heavy infantry. It actually used to be piercing damage, so that's actually not going to change its effectiveness at all against regular infantry, but will make it much better against heavy infantry. And even super heavy infantry. Meanwhile, on this side, Tex using his double Shooter Boys, to backcap and Gen Bash. That's kind of interesting. Usually, I mean, with a force as powerful as double Shooter Boys, just the DPS they're putting out, I think you would kind of want to use them in your main fighting force instead of using them to backcap and then Gen Bash even. I mean, they are good Gen Bashers, but you still want them in the main fight. Toilailee over there was using a Chaos Heretic Worship from the Khorne Heretic Worship to get his Chaos Space Marines to run in there a bit faster. Luda Boys open fire on the Chaos Heretics, and they should probably get out of there. Just taking too much damage. Because the Luda squad just does really good damage now. I think that was a very good change to the Ludas. And this Mekboy in here, just punching Havocs, does not do that much damage in melee. I mean, yes, he can tie them up, but maybe he should activate the electric armor, since it has been changed to do power melee damage and will be a lot better against these Havocs than it used to be. But Tex might still be thinking in the old mindset. He might not even know that the damage type has been changed. So, and this Mekboy, unfortunately, just can't really last in there against both the Havoc Squad and the Chaos Lord. And some other stuff. As it is, he finally uses the electric armor. And that's a sign to me that he probably doesn't even know about the change in the damage type. Chaos Worship, getting both the Heretics and the Chaos Lord to run around faster, get a flank maybe on this Luda Boy squad. And the Chaos Lord does get in there with that series of 2 different worships. He actually used a worship to move another Heretic squad into position to worship. We have that backcapping again from the Shooter Boys, but as long as only the Shooter Boys are here, the Havoc squad can reasonably force them off just by setting up, because it basically just covers this whole area right there if you saw that suppression arc. On this side, we do have Havocs going for a bit of a Gen Bash again. I mean, not Havocs, Heretics. And these Heretics, obviously, your best generator bashers most of the time for most races, if you don't have a Flamer, is your base melee squad, the starting melee unit. Although the Heretics right there did not actually seem to be doing that much damage. Oh, and we just had a squad wipe. I think that was Tex using the Mekboy Global. Gives some kind of ranged buff. I don't even know what it's called, but it's range damage increase probably, and was actually getting these Shooter Boys to do knockback on the Havoc squad, and then it wiped them out because they couldn't retreat. Toilailee down to 3 units, but he gets a Blood Crusher as his first buy in Tier 2. You don't see these as much these days, but they can still be pretty good. Tex, on the other hand, got a War Truck as his first Tier 2 buy. War Truck, very standard Tier 2 buy from the Orcs. Blood Crusher, not too standard these days, but it used to be very standard. And can certainly be good if you have a tech advantage, and if you're going a light Tier 1. It is threatening this War Truck right now. It hit it with its Demon Sword once. Blood Crusher does do AV. But these Luda Boys over here, they've already been upgraded to a Beaming Death Gun. They are retreating right now, so they're not going to be able to kill the Blood Crusher. But they do have, Tex does have AV to deal with this Blood Crusher. Interesting things going on with the Mekboy getting his natural victory point back, using the electric armor to actually force off the Heretics while still capping. But he does get knocked off the cap by a special attack. We also have Bloodletters coming out from Toilailee. I feel like you don't see that as much usually as you used to either. now that Bloodletters do power melee damage. They aren't quite as versatile before and can't really be used as a V. Warchuck right here doing very well because the Warchuck, it's kind of like a Slugga delivery system. Problem with Sluggas is that the individual models are pretty weak in terms of their durability. They will get killed easily. Wartruck gets them in there without taking any damage, and then you can take advantage of the Slugga Boy's strength, which is their DPS. They do a ton of damage with the Slugga Boy knob. Actually do over 200 DPS. Most of it is regular melee type damage, but I mean, when you're over 100 DPS, it doesn't even matter that much, except if you're dealing with a vehicle. Both the Blood Crusher and the Bloodletters threatening this Wartruck right now, which is running away. Gonna get hit by the Blood Crusher, but the Blood Crusher is getting hit by the Beamy Def Gun. Already gets hit by one shot. One more, and this Blood Crusher will go down. Wow, the Blood Crusher does do a charge, but then it just gets hit. It gets hit by the Looter Boy squad. It was still in range. Corn Space Marines now from Toilailee wipes a Shooter Boy squad. Just gets that knob, and now we have a Death Dread from Tex. Death Dread right now not really countered by Toilailee. The closest thing he has to AV are the Bloodletters, just because they do power melee and they have high DPS. I guess also the Chaos Space Marines, again, power melee with high DPS. The Aspiring Champion also has a Melt-A-Gun to do some light AV, but it is certainly not the most powerful Melta in the game. In fact, it's probably the weakest Melta in the game. Alright, and Tex chasing with this Death Dread, but it is unsupported right now. And now Toilailee is going for a Plague Marine squad. Certainly not the best AV, but it is AV. Toilailee actually, with his Corn Space Marines in range stance right now, I think that's a really good choice, considering the Aspiring Champion has the Melta, the others have Plasma Guns, and that also keeps them out of melee with the Death Dread, so they won't take any damage until the Death Dread actually decides to attack them. But right now, the Death Dread is in melee with the Bloodletters, which is also kind of doing some damage because they do power melee. Wartruck right in here, still alive, but this Death Dread is now in trouble, especially with this Plague Marine squad coming up, going to fire off one missile, get a snare on the Death Dread. Death Dread very low on health. I think it's going to go down at this point. Tex tries to use Cult of Speed, but the Death Dread cannot get out of there. I don't even know if this Wartruck will get out of there. Cult of Speed does improve the speed of the vehicles. Looks like the Wartruck will get out. We also have even Bloodlust going down, which is very good in combination with both Corn Space Marines as well as the Bloodletters. Bloodlust is kind of like the Hammer Rage from the Knob Hammers. Basically increases the damage of your Chaos units, all of your Chaos units, with each attack. So it does do very well with the Heretics and the Corn Space Marines, which are melee units that already do a lot of damage. So Tex did press his advantage with the Death Dread. He did get map control out of it. He actually had a 3-cap, but now he's losing that 3-cap. Now that he's lost the Death Dread. Both players now going to tier 3. Mekboy has been upgraded to the Daka Big Shooter. Big Shooter, sorry. Not, in my opinion, not a great choice. It's good in the sense that it does very, very good damage, but it has the same functionality as his starting Shooter. I think he could get a little more functionality if he got a Def Gun. Corn Space Marines chasing, level 2. Corn Space Marines, an extremely good unit. One of the things that's extremely good about them is their speed of 6. They're basically like Banshees with heavy infantry armor and 400 health per model. Just making them very good in general. Chaos Lord over here has no upgrades and is only level 1. So Toilailee, as much as he's keeping even with Tex, I think his Chaos Lord is kind of underutilized in this game. It's only level 1. The Chaos Lord is generally a very killy commander, and I think he's even been using his Chaos Lord a lot as just a capping unit. If he had the Combi Flamer, he would definitely be at least at level 2, if not level 3, since he would be getting a lot more kills in these squads. He's now level 2, got 1 kill. War Truck with Slugger Boys, but we do have a Kill of the Week that went off from the Chaos Lord but did not hit anything, along with Bloodletters teleporting in under Worship. They have 1,200 health. Something has actually been changed there, because in retail they only have 1,000. That means they have 300 health per model. I did not realize that. That's actually a good change in a lot of ways, because it just straight up makes them stronger. And they can already be tough to kill under Chaos Worship. I didn't realize that. The things you learn while you're casting and paying attention. Nob's already out on the field for Tex. Meanwhile, we have a Chaos Predator out for Toilailee. Nob's getting upgraded to meaner and greener. Chaos Worship gonna make those Bloodletters get in there faster, and the Wartruck already taking shots from the Predator goes down, which is now upgraded to the Mark of Corn. I feel like you don't see that upgrade very much, but it's good. But usually people get the Mark of Tzeentch instead. While I'm talking, Chaos Heretic Squad goes down, the Grenade Launcher Heretics. Bloodletters tanking damage by shifting into the warp. Not tanking, just straight up not taking damage. But all of these units do need to move back. The Chaos Predator can kite Nobs, but it needs to actually kite and not just stay there. Even these Plague Marines should not really stay in there. But the Nobs do retreat. They do have huge hammers. They do have meaner and greener. The only thing they're missing is their Nob, which makes them a pretty ridiculous unit. Meanwhile, on this side, Tex has been pretty disciplined about backcapping this victory point using his Shooter Boy squad and now his Mekboy squad. Mekboy mines slowing down this force from getting back over to him, and I think Tex is just going to stand here for a little bit so he can teleport back over here. And now he starts focusing down the Chaos Lord, who has been upgraded to Lightning Claws. So we haven't even seen much from the Chaos Lord all game. I feel like he should have gotten the Combi Flamer and the Armor of the Inferno. Doesn't get an upgrade until now with the Lightning Claws. I'm guessing he's planning to use that as a Nob counter, but I don't think that's such a great idea. On this side, we now have Slugger Boys rushing in against Bloodletters and Heretics. I actually think that's not a good idea, especially since it no longer has War Truck support. So it will lose those models and not get them back until it goes back to base. They do actually wipe the Heretic squad, so I guess that was a good trade. But they are going to risk, they almost get wiped by the Khorne Space Marines. As is, they may still get wiped. No, they do not get wiped, because the Mekboy has the battery pack for healing, does heal them. Destructive Strike, ability unique to those Power Claws for the Chaos Lord, but the Chaos Lord does go down in retreat, even gets sync killed by a Nob. Excuse me. Kind of sad to see a hero, especially the Chaos Lord of all heroes, get sync killed by a non-hero unit, although these Nobs are certainly no joke. Chaos Lord does get revived. Probably spent more than 250 requisition on that revive. We also have Commandos coming out for Tex. Commandos do... I don't know what I was going to say there. Commandos, I feel like they're not that great of a unit. I don't actually play Orcs. I mean, I don't play them that much. Do mess around with them from time to time. Usually just for fun. Not too serious about them. But I feel like Commandos are not the greatest unit. They do a lot of ranged DPS, but they have poor range on their shooters. And I think they're also just overshadowed by Nobs. Probably also the looted tank, and probably also Flash Gits now. Especially since Flash Gits also do a lot of ranged DPS, and they have a ton of range. I think we're going to see the Chaos Lord go down again. and he does. But we also have a Bloodlust on Khorne Space Marines and Bloodletters. That is going to be really good against the Knobs. They're already only at 900 health left. They do have Frenzy activated, but I think they might go down. Oh, man. Yeah, they go down. So, Knobs are obviously a difficult Tier 3 unit to deal with for any race. Chaos has some very good counters, though. For the Chaos Sorcerer, obviously use Chains of Torment, and then you can use Khorne Space Marines, Tzeentch Space Marines. You can also use Tome of Subjugation. The Plague Champion uses Touch of Nurgle on his Heretics, Pestilent Strike on the Plague Fist. The Chaos Lord's answer to Knobs is Bloodlust. And now we have our rocks going down, blowing up members of the Khorne Space Marine squad. Took out, wow, it comes very close to wiping that Khorne Space Marine squad. I think the Khorne Space Marine squad was at 4 members, and it steadily took out each one until this last one, just at 20 health, managed to run on out of there. Not looking good for Tex at this point, though, with his hero dead, his Knobs dead, and Toilailee having 5 units on the field still. I mean, that was our rocks. I knew that Tex had enough for rocks, but I mean, at best was that he was going to get out of there was just wiping the Khorne Space Marine squad. Now we have a Knob on the Commando squad. AV has a rocket launcher shooting at the Chaos Predator, but the Knob immediately goes down. The only model to die on that Commando squad was the Knob, and now he can't even take on that Chaos Predator. Chaos Lord over here, he does have Armor the Inferno now. I still feel like he's been very underutilized in this match. I guess Toilailee, good player, right now able to do very well against Tex, winning against Tex with a hero who's not his main, and not even making great use of this hero. I guess mainly just on his skills in general as a player, and using the other assets of Chaos, which I'm sure aren't too hard to learn. Just basically teleporting units, melee units, Chaos, not especially hard to play, to be honest. And Khorne Space Marines at about half health, so they decide to not stay in too long against these Sluggo Boys. But the Sluggo Boys are getting chased down by the Mark of Khorne Predator, which has done very well in this game. Level 3, 847 health. Mekboy back alive, but we lost another squad. I think, was it a Shooter Boy squad? Something died from Tex. Not looking good for Tex now. Has a new Knob squad on the way, but we already saw how Toilailee dealt with the first one. And he does have enough red to just use Bloodlust again if the Knobs get into a fight with the Bloodletters and the Khorne Space Marines. Tex going for his natural victory point, but immediately just teleports out of the way once the Chaos Lord starts running at him. Commandos cloaked but revealed by the aspiring champion Heretics. One of the things that Commandos can do now is cap at 1.5 speed, the only unit that can do that aside from Tactical Marines. I guess just basically a way of giving you an incentive to actually get Commandos. This is definitely going to force off the Mekboy. Bloodletters teleporting right behind his back, and the Chaos Lord shooting out some flames from his face or something. Anyway, we have Commandos over here using Love Dadaka on these Khorne Space Marines, and then they throw the Burn-A-Bomb. That's actually kind of ass backwards. You're supposed to do the Burn-A-Bomb first and then Love Dadaka. So just kind of a mistake from Tex. I mean, as a good player, as one of the best players in the game, one of the best Orc players, he certainly knows what the combo is, but he just kind of screwed up. And his Knobs right here, running into a fight with the Khorne Space Marines. Khorne Space Marines just decide to get out of there. They are at less than half health, but they do have 2,100 maximum health at level 4. That means they have about 500 health per model. A little more than that, actually. Like 525, which is really good. And again, this is for a squad that's kind of like Banshees. And now we have Lightning Claw Terminators from Toilailee. There's no way Tex can do it at this point. He's got a 3 cap against him. And only 20 points left. That will be the game for Toilailee. And he's going for the decap anyway, but not really going to happen. Not really going to change things at this point. And Toilailee worships to get his melee units in closer. But that is the end of the game. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night.